just gonna ask you about this weekend series. I know every game is sure I kind of keep in perspective, but what's different about playing St. Lawrence compared to other games? Is it any more emphasis put on these, or do you just try to treat
Is
them
that
like
who
it's-
we're playing this weekend? I haven't even seen the schedule yet. I know I have a lot of ticket requests. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it is different. It's a lot of fun.
Mhm.
It's a rivalry game that means a lot to our guys, to our campus, to community, and to both towns. And
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how often you have universities close together, right? They can compete like this.
yeah.
So of course it's different. There's a little bit more edge to it, but there's excitement to it too because the buildings are packed, and it's going to be a good brand of hockey for the North Country.
No, I was curious because you've been part of other rivalries at other places you've worked. What's different about this one maybe than like a Michigan Ohio State or Cornell Harvard or Cornell Colgate type situation? There's anything. That's
Yeah, I just think the proximity of it. You know what I mean? And it really adds to it because there's we have people working on campus here. Their spouse works at the other campus.
Oh, yeah.
There's just a connection between both schools. Whether your kids, friends, and the communities, there's a lot of bragging rights involved. I mean, it makes for a lot of table talk because of the close proximity to schools. Obviously, the long tradition is something that's special. So I just think it's the proximity adds really a lot of fuel to it. A lot of banter back and forth between people. More importantly, I think teams are doing well there this year. So it should be a really good brand of hockey.
It's one of the guys asked too. You guys have been enjoyed some success against them in recent years. What kind of challenges they present to you this year, especially with their offense? I know that they're scoring about close to 4 goals a game.
Yep, obviously they're near almost. I think they have the leading scorer in the country. I think they might be the power play 1 or 2. It fluctuates in there. I think it's 1. I think their offense is 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So I mean, near every offensive statistical category that you can get, they're there. So it's just good offensive teams challenge your habits.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to be aware defensively. We'll have to play hard without the puck. But we're gonna just a lot of times you go in this, you can get caught up in too much of what the other team does. We focus on who we are, what our process is, and hopefully they'll have to make adjustments to us as well as we're looking at some things that we have to do to be good against them.
Is there anything different about the two buildings either? Are the games similar type games where whether you're here or there, or is there something that are different about Appleton when you play in that place compared to playing here?
I'll be honest with you. I just it's a building we don't even pregame skate in because you're not going over there and back and over and back. So it's just a standpoint that it seems like it might be smaller. The ice surface, I don't think it is though. I just think maybe the corners. A lot of times the corners or something, but it's just it is. It's our guys don't look at it. I don't think we've ever talked about it from the standpoint of differences. So I think it's just a matter of you're more concerned with the fact that it's your number one rival. You're getting into the game and you're going over there, and you're just concerned about your compete level and being on top of that because that generally, throw everything out of the equation. That generally is going to be who comes out on top is the team that has the most edge, the team that plays with the most composure while they're playing because you get so hyped up. Is a team that can still use their head while with that emotion is generally the team that wins.
It's the last thing I asked you do you like playing these games back-to-back days, or would you rather like they were staggered during the season?
Well, it's just it is what it is here this year with the circumstances, but it makes for tough because you're going to get it's going to boil over. If there's anything carries over from Friday to Saturday, it's going to be abundantly clear that it's going to carry over from game to game. So that happens in games like this. It happens in the playoffs. So that in itself gives you a good indication going forward. Both teams have played teams twice this year, though they played series non-conference against teams. So from that perspective, the teams will be prepared. It's a lot harder. A lot of times you just turn your attention to another team. The second night it's a little bit of a chess match trying to figure out if they'll make an adjustment on something maybe you had success with or vice versa, what they're doing in a game in itself. So a lot of times the team that wins on a Friday, the other team makes a couple of slight adjustments, and then you're trying to make adjustments in the game as that game goes on. So it's a little bit more of a chess match the second night because you've watched tape and you see what you wanted to do that was or wasn't successful, and the other team is doing the same thing on their tape. So that way you get a little bit more of changes and some alterations.